Alright, let's dive into something that's got the hockey world buzzing: Kyle Dubas and the Penguins' decision to lock up Ville Koivunen with an 8-year, $4 million AAV contract. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me hit you with this: why would a team commit long-term to a player who's still somewhat unproven? Personally, I think this move is less about Koivunen's current stats and more about Dubas's vision for the future. And let me tell you, it's a bold play, one that could either look genius or questionable in a few years. Here's the thing: the NHL landscape is shifting, and Dubas is clearly paying attention. With the cap rising and player salaries skyrocketing, teams are being forced to rethink how they value their talent. What makes this really interesting is how Dubas is approaching this. Instead of chasing older, more established players in free agency, he's betting on a young, high-potential guy like Koivunen. In my opinion, this is Dubas trying to stay ahead of the curve. If Koivunen pans out, the Penguins could have a top-6 forward locked up at a bargain rate. But if he doesn't? Well, that's where things get tricky. Now, let's talk about Koivunen himself. This guy's journey is fascinating. Drafted in the second round by Carolina, he was part of the Jake Guentzel trade, a move Dubas clearly had his eye on. What many people don't realize is that Dubas has been high on Koivunen since his Toronto days. That's a detail I find fascinating. It shows that this isn't just a random gamble. Dubas has been tracking this player's progress for years. Koivunen's 2024-25 season was impressive, no doubt. AHL All-Rookie Team? Check. NHL debut with 7 assists in 8 games? Check. But last season? It was a roller coaster. He started in Pittsburgh, struggled, got sent down to the AHL, and then came back stronger than ever. If you take a step back and think about it, that kind of resilience is exactly what teams look for in young players. Dubas even mentioned Koivunen's improved strength, speed, and creativity, all signs of a player who's willing to put in the work. But here's where it gets really intriguing: Dubas isn't just handing Koivunen a spot. He's made it clear that this contract doesn't guarantee anything. Koivunen still has to earn his place in the lineup. From my perspective, this is Dubas sending a message, not just to Koivunen, but to the entire team. No one is entitled to a spot, no matter how long their contract is. What this really suggests is that Dubas is building a culture of competition and accountability. And honestly, that's something the Penguins have been missing in recent years. If Koivunen thrives under this pressure, it could be a game-changer for the team's future. But even if he doesn't, the cap hit is manageable, and the Penguins can move on without too much damage. One thing that immediately stands out is Koivunen's commitment off the ice. Instead of heading home to Oulu, he stayed in Helsinki to work on a new training program. Then he announced he'd be back in Pittsburgh by mid-August to train with the team. That kind of dedication doesn't go unnoticed. It's a sign that Koivunen is all in, and that's exactly what Dubas wants to see. So, what's the bigger picture here? Personally, I think this move is Dubas trying to redefine how the Penguins approach roster construction. Instead of chasing short-term fixes, he's investing in players who can grow with the team. It's a risky strategy, but if it pays off, the Penguins could be set up for success for years to come. This raises a deeper question, though: are long-term contracts like this the future of the NHL? With the cap rising and player salaries exploding, teams might have no choice but to take these kinds of risks. But it's a fine line to walk. One misstep, and you're stuck with a bad contract for years. As we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this thought: Dubas's decision to sign Koivunen isn't just about one player, it's about a philosophy. It's about betting on potential, fostering competition, and planning for the long term. Will it work? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this move has me excited to see what the Penguins do next. What do you guys think? Is this a smart play by Dubas, or is he taking too big of a risk? Let me know in the comments below.